Now, the casualty figures that have been relied upon in the course of this debate are missing some important pieces of information. The first is any form of independent investigation. Because the Hamas figures themselves cannot be taken as a given. We have multiple examples of clear inflation and fabrication. The second aspect of the problems with these figures is that they make no distinction between civilians and combatants. And indeed, we've seen many parliamentarians referring to them in the course of this debate as though they were all civilian casualties. Now, Israel has been clear that the number of terrorists it knows to have eliminated is approaching 12,000. What we simply don't know is how many in total are members of Hamas or Palestinian Islamic Jihad, or even perhaps ordinary civilians taking part in hostilities, in taking up arms, and therefore becoming legitimate military targets themselves. That we certainly don't know. The other aspect of this information, which is not something that Hamas is putting out, is how these people it claims have died, became deceased. Because we do know that Hamas are targeting their own civilians in Gaza, that they have been shooting them, that they have been bombing fleeing civilians, convoys, following the paths of the humanitarian corridors that Israel has sought to protect and defend. That is Hamas direct fire. Only in the last couple of days, the protests that we have seen erupting against Hamas in the Gaza Strip by ordinary Palestinian civilians, those have also been targeted by direct live fire. And the other manner in which Hamas has been killing its own civilians is with rockets fired by Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad that frequently fall short in the Gaza Strip. And we've seen examples of this famously in the context of the Al-Aqli Hospital car park on the 17th of October. But there are very many rockets that are targeting Israeli civilians that in fact fall short in the Gaza Strip that have also been killing civilians. All of this, of course, all of this important context and the responsibility of Hamas was wholly absent from the debate for the most part. And the vast majority of parliamentarians had simply attributed all of the deaths to Israel's actions of self-defense. And that is not correct on the basis of what we know about the facts on the ground. It stems from repeated blood libels, allegations of ethnic cleansing, now even of genocide, which are an inversion of reality when we consider that the real genocide was perpetrated by Hamas, acts of genocide against Jews on the 7th of October. And that when we also consider, of course, that Hamas has threatened to do this again and again. And we've seen an inversion of reality and continual unfounded blame being put on Israel. That has been the cornerstone of so very many of the speeches calling for the ceasefire in this debate.